Learning a new language is daunting for everyone, no matter the age or demographic. I know I felt that way when I came to Israel and had to learn Hebrew. Moving to a new country can do that to you. But this year, with the global pandemic, more and more people looked for ways and activities to fill their time, including learning a new language online. Well, whether you're learning a new language because you have to or because you want to, there are always roadblocks along the way. Yoel and Orly are the founders of Ulpan-Or and have tips for anyone wanting to become a fluent Hebrew speaker. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for hosting us, Lauren.
Of course, of course. So how do people generally deal with the idea of learning a new language?
Okay, so most people, let's say in the traditional way, they try to find either a very good teacher or a very good school, and they try to find time for once, twice a week of coming to this place and studying. And the thing about that is that they depend on someone from the outside to teach them a language. What happens usually in the traditional way is that you study, learn how to read, how to understand text, and you usually don't focus so much on speaking. So when you find yourself in a place where you are surrounded by people who speak the language you just studied, you are mute. You are not able to speak. Another way that happened during the corona and even previous to that, people started downloading apps and studying through computer. But even then, they couldn't speak. They did all kinds of exercises. They had all kinds of sentences, but they couldn't have a conversation.
So what are the general, roadblocks that non-Hebrew speakers face when they're trying to communicate with an Israeli?
Okay, one of the roadblocks could be your own mother tongue, English. And it happens here in Israel that people who come with English, they speak to Israelis, and Israelis answer in English. So the speaker tries to speak Hebrew, and Israelis return in English.
Happens to me all the time.
Yes. It's so embarrassing, so frustrating, and you are not able to speak Hebrew. But English, there's a joke. I hope American friends are not offended by that. How do you call a person who speaks 3 languages?
Trilingual.
Exactly, trilingual. You know that. How about the person who speaks 2 languages?
That's an easy one, bilingual.
And a person who speaks only 1 language? It's a hard one. American.
American. At least it's not a Canadian.
So again, please, no offense. But this is really something that troubles Americans here in Israel because Israelis try to show off sometimes with their English.
Absolutely.
And then the whole point with Hebrew is gone.
Absolutely.
Another problem, another roadblock is I call that flashcard holders. Many people accumulate a lot of new words and vocabularies, and they carry with them sometimes suitcases with flashcards, but they're not part of their spoken vocabulary. It's just somewhere floats in the air in the cloud. It's not really useful. Another problem is that people don't want to sound stupid in Hebrew, right? And the more educated, the more eloquent a person really is, the harder for him is to sound stupid in another language. So it prevents him from speaking Hebrew. And another way is people who are asking constantly, how do you say in Hebrew? How do you say in Hebrew? And they get answers, but again, it doesn't settle in their mind.
Doesn't click.
So there are other ways to approach learning Hebrew, as Orly mentioned.
And in addition to teaching people in Israel to speak Hebrew, you're also working on, I understand, a webinar for everyone around the world who wants to participate, who's interested in learning Hebrew. Tell me a bit about that.
Right. In the upcoming webinar, we will elaborate on the natural way of studying Hebrew. We will give some tips. We will give some things that you definitely do, and things that you are definitely not allowed to do when you study a new language. And we hope that all of you will come.
Yeah, we hope that viewers will join us in our upcoming webinar, which is on April the 6th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, EDT. We'll be doing it from Israel at 3:30 a.m., but it's for our American friends. So we really will be happy to host you on our webinar.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much for coming in today.
And the link can be found on our page, ulpanor.com.
Good to know. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Friend.